No one ever taught you what to do with the pain. Now, they didn't teach you as a little boy, and they certainly don't teach you as a man. They just handed it to you raw, unfiltered, and said, hey, go figure it out. And so you did. But what you did to survive may be the very thing that's breaking you right now. Now, please stay with me, because this isn't about weakness. It's about the truth. Men like us, you and I, it's the truth we carry. So I have to ask, how did you survive? Well, you buried it, or perhaps you drank it. You worked through it or joked over it. Sometimes men will fight because of it, and you isolated inside of that pain. Not because you're broken, but because you were never shown another way. And that was survival. That was you doing your best with what you had. And it kept you alive. But now it's eating you from the inside. Not all at once, but slowly. A quiet erosion. Now, before I go any further, I must apologize if my energy is a bit low today. I've caught a cold and sniffles and all that stuff, and pretty much feel like crap. But I feel it's far more important to be consistent with you guys than to sit on the couch over there watching Netflix and whining about this inconvenience. So let me go on to the meat of this video. You became good at looking okay. You got the job, you paid the bills, you showed up. Maybe, probably, no one even knew the truth, that some days you just wanted to disappear. That sometimes the silence was safer than being honest. In my case, it was most times. That even laughter could feel like a performance. And when someone asked how you were, you smiled and said, hey, yeah, I'm fine. Because what else could you say? That the weight never lifted? You can't say that. That feeling safe had been rare for a long time? You certainly can't say that. So you wore the mask. You stayed busy. You kept people at a distance. Not because you didn't care, but because caring felt like exposure. And we all know exposure once meant danger, even if it doesn't today. Even joy felt somehow temporary, and calm felt fragile. Because you were always waiting for the next hit, the loss, the next moment when the world reminded you, hey, buddy, you're on your own. But there's a cost to doing it alone. You may think you're getting away with it, but you're not. You see, the body holds it. And you go, what? What do you mean by that? Really? Yeah, but don't take my word for it. A guy by the name of Bessel van der Kolk, he's a doctor, MD, wrote, "The body keeps the score." And oh my goodness, doesn't. Now, I know from experience, the heart hardens. Relationships grow increasingly shallow. And that fire that gets us going, well, it just kind of dims. And that pain, that emotional pain, it doesn't go away. It just kind of gets quiet. It turns into, well, ulcers, rage. How many guys do you know that are swearing and cussing at the little tiniest thing? Hey, calm. Because they've never been free to be comfortable. Fatigue, disconnection. All these things happen to us individually, depending on our style. It builds walls where bridges should be. It shows up in how fast you snap or how numb you become. Personally, I tended to numb out. Men aren't taught to feel through pain. They're taught to outperform it, outdrink it, outwork it, outrun it. But eventually, that pain always catches up. And when it does, it doesn't ask for permission for the parts of your life that it just takes away. Now, it doesn't do this typically in one blow. Sometimes it comes in little pieces of your time, your trust, your tenderness, and towards your children or wherever. So let's say this clearly. You did what you had to do. You adapted. You survived. You used what was available, even if it meant numbing out, even if it meant exploding, even if it meant going so quiet you forgot what your own voice, even your own thoughts, sounded like. Now, that's not weakness nor failure. It's survival logic. That's a nervous system doing its best under pressure. And let's face it, you were never meant to carry it all, but you did. Because, well, no one stepped up. Because the world expected you just endure quietly and keep moving. Keep functioning. You made a way where there wasn't one. You kept breathing even when it hurt. Now that's resilience, not dysfunction. And now, something different is possible. Here's what no one told you. There's another way. There's a way to tell the truth without being shamed. A way to feel what was never safe to feel without being overwhelmed. A way to loosen the silence without losing your strength. You don't need to perform anymore. You don't need to hide. You are not too far gone. You are not beyond repair, and you are not weak for hurting. You're not broken for surviving. You're a man who has carried pain for a long time, and now it's time to let some of it down. You can keep your dignity and ease the load. You can keep your strength and make room for the rest. You can honor what you've endured without continuing to suffer for it. Still standing, still breathing, still here.